You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Oh. A takeover? If they're taking it...
Green livery, changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Then we're talking about a war. Evrart needs to let me into the harbor at once. We need to talk about this. They most certainly are not. Crenell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Crenell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do?
Does it matter? Or has her mind been made up for quite a while now?
Everything affects the decision-making process, Detective.
Officer?
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
I'm afraid we won't disco our way out of this one. Like the previous leaders of the Union were assassinated. I suspect by Evrart and Edgar themselves. I admit there's some poetry in the idea, and like poetry, it's also useless. There would still be Edgar. They factored it in. The Union is them, and they are Martinez. What will I do? Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our reality lowdown? It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years. The nations who colonized this Isla called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds.
Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. Like she was purging her political rivals.
There was no precedent for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry.
Called Volta Doma, or Return from the Sea.
The 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counselor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. Slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor.
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, "Lancielinde, Lancielinde," the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
You've thought it a million times.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Lizargique. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen. 4 years later, the Queen's counselor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high. The first living, autonomous organism. Proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune. In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent and rare. Imagine this.
There was a sting in your heart at the mention before, when she said its name.
On Caillou, the Pebble, the largest of the fertile, uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later. The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae, or they discovered us, all in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there, wipe out indigenous populations, gunboat economies, or they came to do the same for us, or had done to each other. But here, there was no one but the Skua, the Liliat Saya, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain. Revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism. It is. Soon it will be spring and everything will blossom.
The gangs will run wild, jacking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamines through Coal City. Spring is tough in Revachol.
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
It is well within her authority. It's been clear for some time that this woman is more than she lets on.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
What happens will happen. The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez, if you handle the situation on the ground. Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
There are no employers. She's a member of the board, probably a partner.
You are the citizens' militia. There are no superiors.
That's right, Detective. And next time, you should confer with them before you go setting events in motion.
Despite his words, he's not really sure whether to be annoyed with you or not. Events are already in motion. Whether your actions accelerated or momentarily retarded their progress, even the lieutenant cannot really say.
I have not deceived you. I told you exactly who I was. Rejoice Layton. Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Crenell's investigation?
A confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties. Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane. I know, because I too am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich. No, detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing. And I've got it bad.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola, the Volta do Mar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
You could use a little of it yourself.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. With worry in his eyes, he does not know if it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't say anything. You wonder what Everard has to say about this. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning. Oh? Who? Really? Are you sure you're not? A lot of stuff. Oh, there's plenty missing. But that's too much for even an eager terrier like you to handle. Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? An installation. Us poor people are stupid and don't get installations. All I see is a heap of trash. This actually calls for a funeral, I think. Police business. I understand. Anything I can help you with?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with? Just us. This is...
The place is so She nods.
shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning. Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right? Shut up! Not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shitfuck.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach for the butt of his sidearm.
Shh. This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Corty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street? This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible, but you can hear them.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all, heavily armed. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene. The Mercenary Tribunal.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
I think he's calmed down a bit.
Pig fuck!
die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
She doesn't seem to understand the severity of the situation. With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the grip of your sidearm feels comforting and warm in your hand. Feels like it's saying, do it. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. Present an argument. Even if it comes to a fight, it's always a good idea to drag it out first. Get under his skin. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
Yeah? Who did that?
Time. You had time to fuck around in that church, to run errands for your Union chief. I saw you.
Time is up, Loincloth. Give me a name. Now! saying we? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right now? Huh? How about the killed? Go ahead. Tell me we fucking killed our own colonel one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead court marshal won't decide who...
The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him, all together. Titus said he took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud, in a public place.
You're lying. DePaul heard it.
A Kiel Model 40 revolver, 8 rounds in the barrel. The gun slowly sways in his hand from the inebriation.
You heard wrong. She and these men have been helping us find the shooter.
Fucking liars.
The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. Then the Hardy Boys yell something. The young woman stands and looks behind her. The shot has flown over her head, crashing a small pane of the glass window behind her.
I missed.
Not true. He purposefully over-aimed and shot the window. You had him second-guessing himself, only for a second. Do not assume he will miss the next time.
I know what I heard, Corty. They said they killed him. They said it was a good way to end a Sunday night.
That doesn't sound good. You need to change the topic now, or there will be another shot.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer. Owen Cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out.
The gunner. The raddest. The killer. What do you think he does?
There, on the rim of Owen Cloven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20, 21. About 50 little stick figures, all of them black, plus 2 little white ones in the end. These men served in Seminine, the native islanders. The 2 little white figures in the end are from when they moved to Revachol. They're recent.
That's right. Plenty of kips here in Revachol, too.
T, let's fucking do it. T.
Easy. Easy now. All right, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Cranor would never sanction this. Who's the commanding officer? Take your pick. Really, none of this looks like it's going to do anything but piss him off.
I am a Cornell major with over 15 years of live combat experience. When my colonel gets hanged by clay monkeys, I lead the platoon on a retaliation strike. Nah, I just have the biggest gun.
Technically, the other man has the biggest gun, but we're beyond that now.
King Reaper. You're right. But you see, I want it to end in bloodshed.
Okay, it's not much, but he's thinking about something else, and his hand is off the gun. This did something.
Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs, where is she?
She left! What am I doing? My fucking establishment is under fire! You know how much windows cost? She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear takes over and he's back in the moment.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
She's gone. Forget about it now. Concentrate on this.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
He isn't just boasting. He really doesn't care. Back out of this now, or it'll get bad.
Fucking waste this fuck!
Ignore her. she's not the main threat yet. Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He has to start it.
Yeah, I don't fucking act so well. Laylee had a hard-on for making faces for you natives. Fucking food aid shit. That shit is done now. Trigger time. Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click softly. Click, click, click. The realization comes to you like a picture puzzle coming together. His name is Raoul Courtenay. The dead man's name is Elise Courtenay. He's brothers with the deceased. No, probably foster brothers. Elise was put into a foster home, remember?
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer. You're all sentenced to death by lead.
He sways from left to right, inspecting you.
He wasn't my fucking brother. We just grew up on the same farm and got beat into place by the same sick fuck. Same fucking mud hut town, too.
Okay, good.
Who? Laylee.
We researched him. We contacted the ICP and looked at his birth records. That was in there. And other things.
They fucking put Laylee in a leaf compactor, and now these cunts finished the job.
It's a mindfuck, Corty. He wasn't put in a leaf compactor. They're making it up to fuck with us. Major, permission to.
Open fire. We can't have that. Interfere now.
Find his killer. Cop, his killer stands right there, shitting his pants, and you're standing in the way, protecting him. I know what this tactic is, Silo Sam. You're gonna die for them. Right here. Today.
Big talk, but that leaf compactor won't leave his mind anytime soon. It's a small thing, but it got him off center.
Yes. So what? Stupid shit. I know what you're doing. Fuck. It's not gonna work. I'm clear as day.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't come here to fucking chat!
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal.
Now, you got them both off-piste. He's foaming mad at her.
What's the matter, loincloth? Mouthful of dick. Think I'm gonna fucking spare you?
Shit, this is it. Tell him anything. Tell him you have more information.
Rude. Kill him.
The porcelain man raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His hands are steady, and the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly. The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force. A volcano of burning pain erupts from your lip.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. An extremely difficult shot. He has to. The rifleman will fire at you again. Then, two shots ring and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to see who got hit. Blood gushes from the helmet's eye sockets as Rude staggers back, disoriented. The sounds coming from his helmet are not human. An unbelievable shot from the lieutenant. Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. Oh God, watch out. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger. A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil, and the end. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower... The pain is too immense to scream. Feels slick and warm. Feels slick and warm. Feels slick and warm. Feels slick and warm with nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows cast by them.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking. You hear?
But you can't. It's so hard. A shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands. Shoot. Dead. You hear your bloody lips mumble. You try to give him your gun so he'd understand. But he does not. He doesn't look into your eyes and see the fear there. He just shakes his head, still crouched over you. You hear a distant gunshot, velvety smooth. A red circle has appeared on the lieutenant's like a pillow. He falls on you.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
Kim, there is no Kim.
Have mercy on yourself.
He's not taking it and rotting.
He can't go. Not before the case is solved. There is a radio in the distance. A radio of the world. Playing sound.
Ours turned today.
The engine of a caprice connect.
No, it was him. He is the infernal engine. Can't you see?
You see Kuno's familiar shape in the found pants. It turns double, then triple, from the pain. He says,
Coinslot's dead?
you can barely hear him. The pain is so bad.
Just kidding, Piggo. The boo-boo wagon took the Beano cloud away. He's probably gonna live. To the hospital? Fucktard! Should I have to keep up with Kuno?
Thank God. Okay, he's alive.
They say you got a lot of people killed, like half the town. They say you didn't do shit. I guess that's cool. So I thought I'd stick around.
He's not saying Kuno, he's saying I, and not calling you a or a pig. Is he ill or something?
Sure, Kuno's gonna help you with that. Kuno's in a given mood right now. Yeah, it was a fucking massacre. You and Kuno are the only ones left here.
Relax. The kid is just messing with you. You didn't actually get thousands of... There were only 10 people present at the fight. 10 times more than that is very unlikely.
The fuck you asking Kuno for? How would Kuno know? Kuno's fucking 12. Oh, really? You can't get to that fat fuck Everard anymore, because the harbour's locked down. Half the hardy bitches are dead, and your company bitch sailed off. Kuno thinks you're fucked, but I can help you. What you got? Bounce that shit off Kuno.
Let's do this tango, Pig, he thinks. Detective Pig and Detective Kun on the case. We bouncing.
Huh? That could have been there for years. Kuno thinks it's a dead end. You want Kuno to be a yes man? Or you want me to tell it like it is? Walls are full of holes here, Pig. Even Kuno knows that.
There is no telling when it was made. He had a point there.
There are fucking footprints everywhere, Pig. Pigs are too into this footprint shit. Kuno just saw footprints outside on the sidewalk. Yeah, that sounds real to Kuno. Forensic shit, true crime shit. Let's check out some crime scenes and assess shit. Pig style. Anything else?
He's genuinely impressed. But that's mostly to do with how scientific that percentage sounded.
Yeah, what? What bells? Fuck, Pig. Kuno doesn't know about this flower shit. Kuno's not feeling it.
He's wrong. What does he even know?
Sure, Pig, sure. You better have more than some fucking roses if you want to bust this. shit ain't nothing to Kuno. What now? Will Pig, you ready to walk, Will Pig? You tore some shit up there, Pig. Got shot too. How would Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking doctor. Kuno thinks you got shot twice. In the shoulder and in the leg. The leg's pretty fucking nasty. But a doctor looked you over and took the bullet out. The shoulder's fine, probably. The doc didn't seem too worried about it. Said the bullet went right through.
The bullet must have passed through your shoulder blade, missing your lung and your heart. You lucky son of a bitch.
Are your legs attached to Kuno? Can the Kuno move your legs? The fuck should I know?
You can walk. If it's possible, then by pure willpower alone. You're a psycho locomotor.
That's pretty cool to Kuno. Kuno's also a psycho. You keep asking all this weird shit from Kuno that the Kuno has no way of knowing about. Kuno did?
He didn't.
Yeah, some cunt from your station came over and knife fucked you when you were sleeping. Nick's Fuckleave, I think he was called. Said he was a doctor, then fucked off and told me to phone him if you shit yourself.
Nix Gottlieb, station medic, throws a bag containing a small bullet into the medical waste disposer. Then he pops some caramel candy into his mouth and says, "Next, if he did triage and left, you must be relatively stable."
Why, in the name of fuck, would Kuno be it? Kuno's fucking smart. Kuno wasn't in that fuck pile. Kuno knows when shit goes south, unlike you. Go easy, Pig. You want to lean on the Kuno or something?
Ouch, ouch. The kid turns double for a second. Damn, that hurts. Breathe. Your balance is way off. You feel like you're about to fall over.
So, how is it? Kuno can see you trying to shit him, but Kuno's unshittable, so fuck does Kuno care?
Still, you see something akin to respect in his eyes.
Babybeard was in here. Was probably a bitch to clean this shit up.
Babybeard. That can only be Gart, the cafeteria manager.
Yeah, fucking Babybeard. Cleaned all your shit up. He's like your fucking mum now or something. 2 days? Kuno's been out longer sleeping off the speed train. 2 days is nothing. "2 days is nothing to the Kuno. Titus died. Some of his goons too. The whole fucking harbour is in lockdown right now. Even Kuno can't get in.
Everard probably used this armed altercation as an excuse to completely barricade himself in the harbour and cut off all communications with the outside world.
Yeah, she's way gone pig. Kuno's been here for 2 days, and Babybeard and you are the only fucks in the building.
Of course she's really gone. What did you think?
Yeah, fucking dead. Died in the hospital, I hear. Union's all weepy and shit. It's probably your fault.
It probably is, fucking Butterfingers. It's the fault of those who killed him, not you.
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. No one goes in or out. Shit's paranoid now. No problem. Kuno shares the info. So, listen, pig. Kuno's been thinking about shit and, Kuno's coming with you. Help you wrap this shit up, final style.
Asking for something, even asking to come along, doesn't come easy for him.
This scene is dead. Kuno's out of here. Might as well be a pig. Big up fucky fingers on me way out.
Big up, fucky fingers. He is a free thinker, beyond the box. Can't argue with that. Kid would make a half-decent sharpshooter, no? Look, this might be his only way out. Trying to recruit him is like trying to make a pet out of fire. This kid recognizes only one authority, his own. He is streetwise, knows the neighborhood, knows the people. He could be useful. This is a 12-year-old kid. You can't seriously be considering taking him along. What's going to happen to him?
Accepted the Kuno like a motherfucker. What are we gonna do now? Yeah, debrief Kuno. Let Kuno know the plan.
You did mention doing more ballistics.
It's next door. That's what Kuno's thinking too. Good call. Let's rock it, pigman.
The bathroom mirror has been wiped completely clean. You see the reflect. These papers bear the stamp of the RCM. They appear to be fragments of the lieutenant's paperwork, half finished. You make out notes on this and other recent cases.
The child. Dom's unfinished. Dom's unfinished too. The man with the hole in his head. Boring ass shit. Ah, motorcycle emptiness. That's a cool case. Kuno can solve that shit for the Beano. No one tells Kuno what to call something. But the Beano was alright in Kuno's book. Kuno's pig.
Very little. This is a daily writer. He's just started copying notes from his notebook, preparing them for filing. The case appears to be named, however. KK57 080 28 kilometers to the northeast, in the infirmary of Precinct 57, Lieutenant Kim Pinball Kitsuragi rests under a heart monitor. A triage sign, colored yellow, hangs from his injury record. Safe, it means. He coughs, propped up against the pillow. "Why are you here?" asks the man as the cough fit resides. His eyes are black and moist. "To inquire about the Lieutenant E-Freighter, sir. I am his partner," says Satellite Officer Jean Vicmer, standing in the doorway. "Then why are you wasting time here?" coughs Kim. "He's out there, in Martinez, unsupervised, without cover. You need to get there." His cough gets the best of him. He grabs a glass. On his right-hand side, a little blue notebook, open at case notes. This year, you can see references to the child, Dom's unfinished. Half a dozen stolen property cases, titled Crossword Puzzles 2 to 2000. Next to the stack of bills, you see a note, a few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift, huh? That's fucking suspicious to Kuno. Yeah. Fugitive on the run shit. Kuno's seen this shit before. A trap, probably, but don't sweat it. You got the Kuno spot on you. Let's go in.
Relax. Not everyone is out to trap you. The medicine cabinet is empty. Not even a toothbrush.
Smart chick. Kuno never leaves shit behind either. Kuno's a pro. Talk to Kuno. Kuno doesn't want to talk about this shit. That toxic shit's behind Kuno now. Shoot. Kuno knows this shithole better than anyone. Yeah, pig. Yeah. It's sea fort for... It's for defense, pig. Don't bore Kuno with this historic shit.
This is the extent of the boy's knowledge.
Yeah. Of course Kuno's been there, but that was a long time ago, and I was fucked. Been on the train for fucking days, can't remember shit.
The train, speed train, amphetamine express.
Cool place, lots of shit to do there. Kuno's been everywhere, pig. Kuno ain't spoiling this shit for ya. You gotta climb in there yourself and check it out.
The kid is admitting falsehood, sire. He just doesn't know.
Kuno used to hang there sometimes. It's a real shithole. Everyone is old, or a fucking drunk, or dead. Except nothing. That shit is behind Kuno. Keep your nose out of it.
You know who isn't old, drunk, or dead? Lillian.
She's okay. I mean, with all the fucking drunks and relics around, she's like the only one who isn't a walking shithole. She's okay.
Sounds like the kid has a soft spot for Lillian.
It's Kuno's? If you know that history buff shit, then why you fucking Kuno with this? Kuno's a pig now. Has important shit on his mind. Pig shit. What do you mean, what's going on? This is good shit. You wouldn't believe the crap Kuno's getting from the trucks. Oh, pig. Kuno's done with that shit. Kuno's a pig now, living the pig life. That Reaver shit's behind him. Well, you know, pig, shit's fucked. And like, Kuno's got no time for this small time shit. Kuno's got enterprises to run.
Apparently, he has never formed an opinion on the matter, and isn't going to do so on the fly either.
Whose side's Kuno on? Kuno's on fucking Kuno's side, pig. This is beneath the Kuno. Don't talk to me about this playground bullshit. You're getting shit in Kuno's head.
Being put in the spotlight like this makes him feel exposed, makes him lash out.
Sure thing, pig. What now?
You see the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, only now
Oh, Kuno knows this shit. Ballistic shit, science radio shit. Shows where the shot came from.
a ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside, A prime. To then, it suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime. The island in the bay.
Pig? You're really fucking onto something there. Yeah, Kuno's seen that shit. Crazy shit. Ain't nothing to Kuno, but lots of places to hide there. Kuno's got no fucking clue. You need to pig this shit, cop style. Cool shit, Sub-Zero shit. Kuno's listening, you got his attention, so what's next?
The wind blows in from the open window. The boy squints, looking into the cold distance across the water. The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez looking under every rock and talking to every person. But what else is there? There, across the grey water, amidst crumbling concrete, a birch tree, the ruins of a flat tower, remember?
To do, you mean? Nothing. Harbor's closed. Everyone's dead. This scene is dead, pig. totally what a sniper would use. Aircraft gun. Yeah, why fucking not? Just one question though. How are you gonna get to the island? Kuno has his ways, but that ain't for your fat old ass. There's this lady in the village. She, yeah, there are boats there. You go, do shit there. You'll get one on the coast.
One kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea. As the shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window. Then there's the thread, the width. You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust. The dust has not settled again where neither the footprints nor large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. One person has been here. They've gone back and forth. The tips point both ways. The footprints go up the length of the room and back down. The footprints are of one type. They do not congratulate you for correctly recognizing what type they are. The footprints do not speak. The footprints are still there. The machine is
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
Fucking cleaned it.
what a dick, dancing around in his maid uniform. Kuno forces an unnatural smile.
You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. Defended may be putting it a bit generously, though. I had a great view of you doing nothing to stop those psychopaths. Then I crawled inside. Bullets started flying. Anyway.
He really wants you to realize that he was also on the balcony looking by, in the danger zone, so to say.
I hope at least your partner is recovering quickly. Also, you're staying here for free now. That's right, this establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. Just felt I needed to specify that. Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business. Ah, them. Nice people, but no. Lena said they were going back to Jamrock. I saw them pass by outside. This was before the fight started. I'm glad she got out of here before all that. Bullets flying and stuff. People inside were quite terrified, you know. I had to take action and step outside too. Yes, you know, and I went outside and took care of it. Everybody calmed down. Felt like the right thing to do.
He's almost completely forgotten what this began with.
I mean, you're a detective. Perhaps you can track them down. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know what the fuck this is about, but you should chill down, pig. You'll get this Lena fuck on false charges.
You'll see her again one day. You know it. Things went like they did for a reason.
I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad. Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's because I'm a bad ass.
It really took courage. Don't pick at him. He nods back at you, even more stoically. Make that 3. Kuno is nodding too, hands crossed.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do. Another thing. Great. Yes?
Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy. All about that
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Kuno's gonna scram now. Can't be seen with pigs. Can't shit on Kuno's good name. So yeah, see you on the C4 island. Try not to get shot or drunk again. Kuno's counting on your ass.
Kuno will rejoin your party later.
My man, you're alive. Almost. Kind of. Sort of alive? Man, what a day. I missed out on most of the action, but I heard it was quite the encounter. Had a strong sense of finality to it. So what's next? You heading back to Jamrock now? Talker's local union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned into a shit show. Hey, that's just what I heard. Old wives' tale. So, what next? Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you, but hey, you're still breathing, right? Fuck it. I'm a bad guy now. There's things more important than holding a grudge. It's okay. You've been through enough. We are what we are. Shoot. Sorry, man. Didn't mean it like that. Ask away. Okay.
Is it wise to share information about the case like this, sire?
Woof. Good on her. And good on you, too, my man. That's merciful. Downright merciful. You cops keep exercising that muscle, and people will be more willing to cooperate, you know.
He's clearly relieved.
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal fire.
Time to arrest him. Relax. He's merely joking.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. They usually get shipped to...
He crosses his arm. A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big... The boyadero stares at you with respect. Then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
There are types of danger. The one I'm usually concerned with is lung cancer or getting mauled by wildlife, not bullets. It calls back to an older era where this was commonplace, though. You have a true boyadero heart. Hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out, for the time being. No, man. Not today. Today is war.
He says it matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal.
Time will tell. I'll tell Everard you dropped by. I'm sure he'll be glad. I'll be okay here, doing lookout. Quite the sight, aren't they? Getting to like that red I am. Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane killers turn up. Then I'll run. And live. You know it, friend.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various...
Okay. Here. Okay. Here. Is this about the questions again? 'Cause, I don't really... Uh-huh.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Scar. The red-dyed fuel oil glistens. This was painted very recently. And blood, some of it may even be yours. Looks like a giant mop was used to turn it into lettering. Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy and throw it in there, you know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. Safer.
Mon Dieu, officer. It is worse than I thought. Maybe it's time to slow down and join. Yes? Yes.
He finds comfort in the thought.
We all got to go sometime, officer. Everyone I love is already there. It is what it is. Part of...
Despite their different...
I just don't know anymore. Officer.
To the left of some croissants and juice bottles. A colourful display of cigarettes.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Here you go, mister.
The graffito has been painted. This was Cindy the Scar. The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinaise, or even the coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something above even those. Flames warm your face. Then, a gust of cold wind, and the fire falters.
It's time to go to the island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime.
Yes, what is it? I don't want to make anything work. Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress Accident.
That's right. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen, I don't want anything to happen. Ever again.
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it. Easy. When her research is done, she can move out.
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
She thinks about it, a glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
All right. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself. No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it. It's a backup of my former employer's project, the radio game we were working on. It's stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer.
She's making it extra simple for you.
The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament.
Hold on. If it's called an off-site copy, then why is it still on-site?
Oh god, not this again. It is not on-site. It is in the basement. Perfectly safe and not connected to the front at all.
Basement? Sounds like it's technically still on-site.
And no, taking it outside the building wouldn't have protected it from the data loss. There's nothing wrong with keeping the backup in the basement. What happened was a freak accident that has nothing to do with how the backup was stored. We clear?
This is clearly a painful topic for her. She must have had to explain herself numerous times.
Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady. That's her name, I believe. Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. Just go and get it. In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you. It has red glowing eyes. It's impossible to miss. You just need to get the offside copy from the ice bear.
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying...
Wait. A note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory? Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Suliswov Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offside copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous. And the heads... I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thank you.
Valley of 1,000 Heads. You like the sound of that.
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know. I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear.
Wait, what? Whose dead body? You put it there? You put a dead body inside the ice bear fridge. Okay. Very cool. Thanks for keeping me in the loop. The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse. Whatever that means. Of course not. Anyway, I don't have my keys anymore and she won't let me in. Because she's from Martinez, and people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil. No. She literally started praying for the higher powers when she first saw my Rain Civic. I'm not making this up. Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. It looked like some feminine magic. Thanks. And here's my Kvalsund multi-tool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the offside copy, then you can keep the Kvalsund.
It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Kvalsund.
Yes? Thanks.
Two cables are plugged, an electric sizzle, something close to you. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. Turning the crank feels it's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner. The man from Heimdall stares out at you. The back blurb reads, "His latest adventure serves as the perfect introduction to the savage Heimdall saga. Meet Man from Heimdall, his faithful blood brother, Tyribald, the noble Lord Hrothgar, and some of their most fearsome foes yet, for the Northlands. For Heimdall." Below, in smaller font, you see the parenthetical, adapted from Man from Eildal and the Necromancer's Treasure. Man from Eildal, Lord of Hrothgar, and Man from Eildal, the Curse of Nakthera. A brazen attempt to bilk fans for more money. by splicing together old stories under a new title. Their main concern is the continuation of the franchise, not making literary history. The story opens in media res. The man from Heimdall and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels of an ancient temple, surrounded by an army of gibbering wights, led by the deathless necromancer. One by one, the brave Northmen fall to the relentless crush of undead, only to join their number as reanimated corpses. By nightfall, only the man from Heimdall and his blood brother, noble Tyribald, are left standing against the dead horde. It is an honor to die by your side, brother, Tyribald cries, as his battle axe beheads one of their reanimated comrades. 9, Tyribald, the man from Heimdall, bellows over the army of flesh and bone. Have courage for the Northlands, for Heimdall. He leaps to the mezzanine to face the black-eyed figure, and like a mad ice bear, whirling twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, he plows through the ranks of the deathless, surrounding the necromancer. The writer has never held a sword in their life, let alone two two-handed swords at the same time. It is physically impossible for a human being to effectively dual-wield Zweihander swords in any kind of real-life combat situation. And with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. The undead legions collapse like ragdolls as the dark magic leaves them, and the two Northmen stand alone in their cursed temple, where the bodies of their lost brothers litter the floors. A few chapters later, the man from Heimdall and Tyribald are in a completely different setting, high above an arid desert, riding a pair of griffins that always seem to appear at narratively convenient moments. This book makes a mockery of the very idea of good plotting, though something tells you coherence was never the point. The Northmen find themselves in the court of a powerful southern king, Lord Hrothgar. The old king beseeches the man from Heimdall to rid his kingdom of the Nachtherra, a subterranean clan of blind wizards who traded their souls for demonic powers. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless desert pygmies living exiled in the kingdom's borderlands. Hrothgar offers the hand of his eldest daughter instead, but the son of winter does not budge. What do you mean? Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest, because, above all, he's driven to bring honor to the name of his beloved Heimdall, because his noble Cutlan blood lusts for glory and conquest. It cannot be denied. What do you mean? Is that all? He is the man from Heimdall, forged in the fury of battle. Death was his sire, and blood his dam. He had but 14 winters when he left his frigid homelands in Cutla to seek glory and honor. That is his character. He doesn't even have a real name. What is inside this man? Or is muscle and bone all he is? He is the wildest man alive. The only mortal strong enough to wield the twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang. whose names mean storm and... What are you, a book critic? Enough. You're ruining the pacing of the story. Now where did you leave off? What pacing? You skip past a section detailing an elaborate banquet with many toasts, as well as the long and perilous journey from Hrothgar's Keep to the ancient forest of Yesdar, where our heroes infiltrate the Nachtherre's dire hall. In the center of the great hall stands a blood altar on which a pair of Nachtherre are disemboweling a shrieking peasant, an unholy rite that empowers the Nachtherre forbidden magic. As the vile ceremony ends, the sound of steel unsheathing draws the Nachtherre's attention to a pair of cloaked figures standing in the doorway. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel. It's the man from Heimdall and his valiant blood brother, Tyribald. In an instant, the Nachtherre summon a horde of gibbering orcanoids who rush our heroes. The hall fills with the clang of blades and the screams of the dying as the floor goes slick with steaming orcanoid viscera. Oh, for fuck's sake. When the din of battle settles, only the man from Heimdall and Tyribald remain standing. Exhausted and dripping with the entrails of their foes, the two Northmen confront the foul Nachtherre. The man from Heimdall's soda-like blue eyes fill with indescribable fury. For the Northlands, he cries, rushing headlong into a desperate melee. He probably is, but you can't be sure, because this one ends in a cliffhanger and a footnote saying, "To be continued in Heimdallaman at the Gates of Tomorrow. Coming soon to your local bookstore." Considering the sheer amount of different Heimdallaman books out there, it's very unlikely you're ever gonna find the sequel. The man from Heimdall stares at you. Large letters on the front form a title, Wirral. The colorful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids, some short, some taller, some with pointy ears, others with ephemeral wings. In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekatina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow. Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grad. You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long. Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading. The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author. She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph, and yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you. In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugo-Grad riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugo-Grad Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes. It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure? They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair, and in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life, and in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft. She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one. The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit. As life leaves their remains between the soil's sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret. The face of King Freecell smiles at you. For some reason, the smile now strikes you as more forced than it did before. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. Also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section Invalda is beyond you. Obviously, because it's cool to drop random phrases in foreign languages. It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing. If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has two bylines, Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. More than that, they're likely anagrams. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity. Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave. It's the stilted language and overconfident tone that's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits. Armed with the lieutenant's trusty blue pen, you spend entirely too much time striking every meaningless word and unsubstantiated claim you come across. By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. One of the editorials proclaims that the more the forces of reaction attempt to crush the body, the more defiant the spirit of communism becomes. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest. This book talks about the delicate medicinal purposes of the pearl. Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on you come across it's all quackery. Finally, it seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pearl, as well as instructions for producing. There are a number of zeolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition. What you're describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that. The tome seems to get heavy. Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections. Have you taken any walks through the Pearl recently? And on your walk, you need to do that. There is serious, regular meditation in the Pearl, however, good. And when you meditate, nudity is, you probably can't even take, nor should you. Nudity is shameful. No officer of the law should ever be. That feeling is the weight of society bearing very well. First, choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate. Lastly, is there anything? The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxins. The ginseng should give you more energy as a nice bonus. You imagine yourself with a mug of this tea. The Greatest Innocence by Jean. Browsing through the book again, you still have trouble understanding the torrent of information. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? Probably for the best. Call the Mama Zakwa. It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man from Hjelmdal in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hjelmdala man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Hjelmdal and the Devil Woman. Especially those leering types who seem to wear nothing but an armored bikini. There's also some sort of a snake lizard beast slithering around her abdomen, chest, shoulder region. It's symbolic of vice and sin. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hjelmdal novels.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of
Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective Dick Mullen. Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book, a worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic Hard-Boiled Phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals. Then this is the book for you.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
Shelves full of biographies, browsing through all suddenly, a high-speed love next to Irv's life. Next to that,
I really must.
she understands she is.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch. The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in. The tagline reads, "Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen." That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect. The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindium coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights. An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law. 2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullin learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullin dropped him off in by a man matching Mullin's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullin manages to convince the Vesper police to release him for 3 days so that Mullin may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence. Of course, Mullin didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullin returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Deneuve. And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret. Secrets are the currency of human relations. Your secrets are unknown even unto you. So does that make you a rich man or a beggar? Deneuve reveals that she was Spillane's lover and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullin begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead. Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder? A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullin's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullin did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own. Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullin discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle? One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullin's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer. The man's a prosecutor's nightmare. Solving a murder counts for nothing if all the evidence gets thrown out in court over police misconduct. That's just Dick Mullin's modus operandi. He might bend the rules, but he closes cases like no one else can. As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Deanna Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you. I love you." Always aim for the center of mass. Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly. Who can you trust in this wicked, messed up world? Will you be there for him, though, when push comes to shove? Time will tell. In the meantime, let's get on with the story. When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood. Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already. Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullen didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars. Dick Mullen won't be sent to the clink for the sake of some legal niceties. The heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in? What is it, Detective? It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullen never lets anyone get too close. There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective. For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is, a collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses. You won't find the answers you're looking for here, in other words. Is it really so evil, Detective? Like what? You don't know how you know, but you can feel this book laughing at you. You think contemplating art is going to save you? You know you look like a madman, right? Giving an inanimate object the finger like that. So, who did it, Detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve? What? That doesn't even make sense. There's never a straight answer with you, is there? You just get hooked on random stupid notions and then repeat them every chance you get. Now go on, find out who really did it. You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone. Dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long. Yes, blame a dead horse for your fat, clumsy fingers. In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity